He doesn't like that. Look at him, he's a good boy, but he don't like that.
Maybe we could play some A rounds or something like that. I mean, this is map, right? New tower, new objectives.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat. Red Bull gives you wings.
And welcome back. I wish I could tell you it was close. I wish I could tell you it was back and forth. It was not. Fnatic dominating the first game versus Team Heretics. Just about from start to finish, pretty clean. Some oopsies here or there, but overall super dominant game for Fnatic.
Yeah. And I mean, if you weren't a Fnatic believer, you probably should be by now, because clearly being in a Heretic is not working.
Even though Heretics did a lot of good things, I feel like they have fixed their draft, and honestly, it was okay. Fnatic just had it in the bag, and I think it all started with the list pick. And I would like to show this this little tower dive because it set up the tone for Fnatic's very strong early game. Because now we see ourselves in a split map situation where both top laners are getting dope. But the main difference here is that right now Razork is here extremely early, and what you're gonna see later on is that Ambessa will be getting level 2, but right now this Cassante doesn't really have the option to get level 2 because there's just too many minions up. Like, as you can see, there's 4 minions. He's not gonna get level 2, and even though it's not really the cleanest of dives, at least just makes it free kill, because you can just do this, you tank, she's gonna over tank this tower shot. Right now this tower shot will probably kill her, but right now it's just bam, clean. And right now on the side of Fnatic, Oscar, as you can see, right now he's buying a lot of time. The main mistake is that Wukong right now is not going for this dive. He needs to start the dive right now, because this minion and this minion, once these 2 minions die, Ambessa is getting level 2, and Oscar plays this wonderfully. Right now he's buying a lot of time. Flash is very early right now just to buy time for this minion to die, and right now he's gonna clip this minion with W, get level 2, and this is the main reason why this tower dive just fails, because now Ambessa is level 2 and she just pulled off an escape.
This is infuriating when it's so close like this. And I feel like this has been the story for Team Heretics in a lot of instances. It's like clear that they have the right idea in some of these moments, but it's the little things. It's that 1 minion, those 2 minions, you know, maybe some of the plays around mid lane. It's like they kill Mikyx, but then they aren't quite sure if they can go for more. So what needs to change? I mean, I think that's the big question for me. Fnatic clearly dominant, clearly improving. What needs to change for Team Heretics?
I think that Team Heretics needs to be a little bit more cleaner, because I saw a couple of moments of hesitation where they're all in the right position, but they're not really sure on what to do. It feels like this is the kind of growing pain from teams where they're in the position where they're like, hey, at least let's be together. And if we're together, then we can find the good plays. But right now, given the fact that they're facing Fnatic, and Fnatic showed a lot of discipline and restraint this game, they need to level up a little bit more throughout this series.
And Jack, I think on the side of Fnatic,
yeah,
how happy should Fnatic? You're like, Fnatic fans should be happy, but why? Why should they be happy? If it was so simple, if it was so easy for them, like, what should they be excited about? What have we seen that's better?
I think this new Fnatic just feels really fresh. I feel like they're way more decisive while also being disciplined at the same time. I think last year's Fnatic, we saw a Fnatic that had incredibly dominant early games, Razork smurfing the map, but then they always wanted a little bit too much. They always went a bit too aggro, and then they threw their lead, and you know, the infamous G2 games. And I feel like this iteration of Fnatic, they understand that they don't need to win the game on every single play. They can just get ahead, build that lead slowly and surely, and then stomp the rest of the competition.
And for me, what was really impressive from Fnatic was the fact that they're building their leads off of tempo. They're using tempo so well. They don't get into positions where they need to kill. The fact that they're dragging Team Heretics all across the map and gaining gold leads just from Team Heretics dropping minion waves. But at the same time, they're getting one of the fastest games of the split, just closing the game out in like 20-something minutes, having 10k gold lead at minute 18. they're walking on the knife's edge over here, and it's really impressive to watch because this is the Fnatic that would usually always fumble these leads.
And I hope they can keep it up and keep that momentum going. But I think the question for Team Heretics as we enter game 2 is like, what do you change? A lot of these champions, they can't pick again, right? There's no more Ambessa Vi, point and click murder. Bingo right now, I'm not doing hot. I got 2 champions. I got Elise, I got Ahri. How are you guys
4.
doing? You got 4 already?
Yeah, I got Kai'Sa, Elise, Wukong, Ahri. So I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, I kind of suck, so let's just leave it at that. You know?
We got the same 2 champions.
It doesn't look great, but I'm not really sure because at the same time, Team Heretics did do all the adjustments that I would have liked them to see from them. They picked these kind of standard champions, standard 5v5 champions. They just need to go together and execute. It's more about gameplay right now.
I didn't really like their draft, to be honest. I feel like they gave Fnatic what we've seen them been so good at. I remember Fnatic's game against K-Corp, where Razork on Vi, and they also had a very similar dive comp, and they stomped K-Corp, and they made it look easy, And for me, Heretics giving that comp to them, where they've already shown so much success. Of course, they've shown success on other comps as well.
I mean, I'm not saying that what they gave to Fnatic was good, because I think it was obviously bad. But I just said that 5 champions that they ended up playing this game is probably the most Heretics team draft that you can. Heretics draft that you can get.
What does top lane look like? That's my question. Because Carlsen and Oscar are playing the 2 kind of poster children for broken top laners. Now you need to step away from, the Cassante and Bessas of the world. I expect that we could still see lane swaps, but what does top lane pool look like, Odo? Like, what are you reaching for at this point?
There's still champions like Jace. There's still Renekton's coming through. You still kind of want these big, beefy boys that are probably not. Okay, don't laugh. Don't look at me like that.
No, I'm laughing because I really was like, I was hoping for spice, and then because I just forgot those champions existed.
No spice. Top lane has no spice. You just need to sit there and tank it. You need to tank the dive, not die. Realistically, I don't think it's about top lane in this series. It's still gonna be about jungle and support having impact in the game. Razork has been playing exceptional. I think top lane is still kind of like a fill role right now. Most of the power that we're gonna be seeing, I still think comes in the jungle because right now, even though it's fearless, I don't think you see a lot of game-breaking diversity in the top lane.
To be fair, though, Oscar in that game, he was putting a ton of pressure on, nearly solo diving. I think, of course, a lot of that lead came from the swaps, so it's kind of like artificial. But the top lane champions themselves are pretty damn strong.
Okay,
they are.
Now, okay, guys, I get it.
Wait, hold on. You don't have to defend yourself. It's okay. We're gonna go into the next game. I know. It feels bad. Everyone's summarizing top lane as Ambessa, Cassante, 5-head.
Yeah, we're not getting them anymore, guys. Chill out.
Anyway, Team Heretics have chosen blue side, and we'll have to see if they can steal a win away from Fnatic, or can they even get one more and make the upset happen. For now, we're heading on to game 2. Stay tuned. We'll be back right after this.
Hello folks, welcome back to the caster desk. I'm Initialise, that is Vedius. And looking nice and handsome, the both of us today. I like these fits, looking good.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of what our stylist chose for us today. And I'm a big fan of what we saw from Fnatic in game 1. Very clean game overall. Managed to end the game before Baron even spawned. And just like that, we're straight to draft.
That we are. Team Heretics will be over onto the blue side, Fnatic over onto the red. And the bans remain pretty obvious. I think the Skarner, the Kalista have been so high priority, so permanently banned. I don't think those are any surprise here.
Yeah, and again, for those just joining us, those unfamiliar, we are in the Fearless format, which means that you can see the series bans in game 1, or those champions are added to the ban pool here in game 2. So we will not be seeing any repeat champions, but of course, the bans from the previous games will not stay in this game as well.
And again, this is only a best of 3, but when we do start getting to all those best of 5s, and later on into the series you get, the weirder those drafts get, just because some of the core champions, your engaged supports, your AD bruiser junglers start to disappear. What has gotten through the draft, though, is another one of those very important champions, namely Corki, a flex and first picked. Looking like a response possibly of the Varus, which is another pretty popular champion.
You've got to be careful of the Maokai. We talked about Razork's champion pool, this split very much being Vi and Maokai, the 2 champions you can't afford to give him, and it is up and available right now. The priority, though, going to be the Rell instead. We saw that banned away previously. You talked a lot about how Stend, known for his Rell in the ERLs. We got a glimpse of that in the final weekend of the LEC regular season where he was finding so many great flanks, but Mikyx gonna be taking that away from him.
Both.
And unsurprisingly, it's gonna be paired up alongside the Maokai. So Fnatic already showcasing a very team fight driven composition coming through from this duo.
And again, strictly that Maokai could be a flex. It could be Carlsen. But let's be real, Razork has been so good on the champion, it's likely going there. The response, though, we'll see what it is. There's some few interesting offers. The desk, right at the beginning of the day, was talking about things like the Diana and stuff, but it is only Hobbs, and they go towards an Alistar, which has regularly been a matchup into the Rell. You can mess around her knockdown by headbutting away. It's a pretty standard bot lane duo.
I wonder if the Sejuani is going to be the lock-in. Assuming that the Corki is in the mid lane, I don't love that pairing. You can see a few hovers coming through, but fast clearing junglers are often what you'll see as an answer into the Maokai, unless they want to try and match with the tank. In this case, it's going to be one of those fast clearing junglers of Zyra to provide you with nice disengage, a solid bit of team fighting, and overall good scaling into the lane.
And look, when you're into a Rell, when you're into a Maokai, having champions that can sort of mitigate and dissuade those engages coming on through, when you get the big grasping roots, Nature's Grasp, that's the name of the ultimate, took me a second, or the big magnet storms. Alistar, Zyra really good at dealing with that. But second phase of bans now comes on through, and still really waiting on our solo laners to be picked most likely here. There are a couple bits here which could be a flex option or two, the Corki, the Maokai notably, but strictly speaking, things like the Renekton, not unexpected here. Carlsen, massive Renekton player, all since he started playing pro play a few years ago now.
Yeah, I mean, interestingly, given that Ambessa, Oscar's most played, against the Cassante, Carlsen's most played, you would expect them to default to those, but of course, not available. So we're going to have to dip a little bit deeper into their pool. We've seen Rumble and Jace come out from Oscar so far in the regular season. Jax, Renekton, as you highlighted, also prominent picks coming out from Carlsen. So a lot of flexibility and options still available as we move towards the second phase of bans. The mid lane going to be the focus from the side of Heretics.
It does feel like that Rumble in particular has been very, very high priority, particularly over in the LPL, in the LCK. Often been answered with things like the Galio, though, and that's not been banned. You often see those kind of get matched as bans, and I wonder now if Team Heretics are looking at those kind of options. Last ban coming on through, they got rid of the Hui, something Humanoid has put a fair amount of time into when you've already got the Varus. Would have been a really nasty poke combo when you've already got the setup, so you can't miss the skill shots. Last ban will be the Clear.
I wonder if Fnatic is thinking about something like a Gnar. They could just go for the Rumble, but they're probably worried about doing Rumble plus Maokai, double AP topside. Merc Treads gains a lot of value. Maybe they don't care because the team fighting value is enough. You'd be forced into going something like a Yone or some sort of AD mid. It very much depends on where they want that cover to go. But yeah, Gnar kind of made sense based on the bans that they were going for. Now Carlsen's going to be put into a bit of pressure. Something like a Jace could work. Then you'd go to more towards something like a poke comp with the Corki plus the Jace. But we'll see what their priority is here instead.
They've got a few options. The Yone themselves make some sense. And again, you don't necessarily want to give Yone Maokai as a combo because Maokai makes it very hard to miss Yone. It locks people in place. Honestly, why you sometimes wonder whether that Rumble would have gone with the Maokai despite the double AP. It just makes it harder to get out of the equalizer. Still not going to be the option here. And now, what is that last pick?
Right now, the only frontline the Heretics has is the Alistar. So Yassuo top as an answer into Oscar. The problem is, Carlsen, we're in a meta of lane swapping. And counter picks just, it's why they're hard to play right now. I'm hoping we get the standard lanes as the Smolder is going to be the final answer. We saw this a lot at last year's Worlds, sometimes as an answer into the Yone.
You can really mess up the Yone level 1 to 3. He doesn't really get to attack you until he gets a few of those abilities down. You can just outrange him a bit and flap away. It's really obnoxious. The other thing is obviously one of the big things for Yasuo and Gnar is with your Wind Wall, you can break the boomerang, and it puts it on like a 20-second cooldown. It's miserable for mini Gnar.
I mean, the matchup is great. I mean, it's been a long time, I say old school counter.
2016.
Yeah, just because you have so much mobility on the Yasuo, your ability to skirmish against the Gnar is super effective. Gnar can bounce away, and Yasuo is one of the few that leveraging the minion wave can keep up with that. And you also have good lockdown with the setup, thanks to, get the knock up with your Q, and then you can follow with the ulti. The problem with Heretics composition, we heard it from the analyst desk at the beginning of the day, they wanted to see like simple drafts, right? Yes. They wanted to see something a little bit more easy to execute, straightforward. this is not easy to execute at all. Like, you're running the Wind Brothers of Yone and Yassuo. You've got the Zyra jungle. Priority is going to be a difficult thing to get within the early levels. I wonder if Fnatic is going to look for the standard lanes, and we've already seen that Fnatic seem to be a cut above in the lane swaps as well in terms of their execution. So if Fnatic do choose to swap the Yasuo away from the Gnar, how is Carlsen going to manage that pressure?
Question that will be answered very soon as we are heading to the Rift. What could be our deciding game of our first playoff series?
I mean, I'm glad that we're already getting some interesting things on the menu.
And look, I know what the desk was saying about the KISS style. Keep it simple, stupid, play easy to execute comps. But on the other hand, you've got an option to lose one series. You can have some fun. You're up against Fnatic. Come in with confidence, with swagger. Draft me a Yasuo Yone. But then just go for it. You can't just do it and then not do anything. I appreciate the confidence. I need to see whether Team Heretics can deliver on it. We've got some chance again. I love the Fnatic fans. They've been having so much fun. It's been G2 fans for the longest time with one with a chance. I'm glad to see we've got some of our other org fans coming in with a chance or two to them.
I mean, Fnatic fans should be excited. Of course, Fnatic, they're no strangers to finding their way into the final when it comes to domestic performance. When we look at last year's performances and how overall the team has been doing, they had a pretty good year, all things considered. They found themselves with a bit of a fumble at the beginning of winter, but you can see second place in spring, second place in summer, second place in the season finals. Like, this team was so close to winning a split that they feel like that they should have one. And now with this roster, it feels like that Winters is kind of theirs to lose based on their performance.
And there were questions about, would they have upgraded with these positions? Would they be the best team in the league? And those players have come in and delivered. And Fnatic, with so many of those big names, now using that opportunity to invade and fight over the Raptors at level 1. So hard to beat out a Maokai. Bramble Smash Smite.
They're not done.
Keep going. It's such a nightmare flash for the Twisted Advance. And Stend has to flash in trade. Now Flakked split off from his team, slowed down by the hail of Varus. Stend desperately trying to rejoin, and I think Flakked just about going to get to the safety of his turret.
Sheo wisely abandons position and moves back towards the topside camps. He will have all of the topside jungle available for himself, but the problem is the bottom lane has been left isolated. Flakked and Stend now find themselves in a bit of a difficult matchup. You've got to remember, Alistar in these early levels contributes very little to the fights, and now a Maokai is going to be on his way very quickly to that level 3 and setting his sights for a play on the bot side of the map.
And it's split the map as well. Sheo has to go topside, has to try and respond up here. And yes, of course, it's a pretty dicey matchup in the top side of the Yasuo, and the Gnar is pretty volatile. You could potentially play around that. But Upset and Mikyx getting isolated time against this Alistar, against this Corki, who've lost a summoner or two early, could be pretty scary for the side of Team Heretics.
Humanoid doing very much as we expected in these early levels, just chipping away at Kamiloo's HP bar. You have that range advantage, easy way to build up those stacks against the Yone. Razork, though, making a beeline towards the top side of the map, wants to try and get Sheo out of his side of the jungle. The Krogs are still going to be available. The pings have come through onto those neutral camps. As you rightly said, Carlsen finding a small advantage in the top lane for now. Oh, Stend.
Headbutt pulverized with quite. Upset has to flash, re-engaged by Mikyx, but Upset actually pretty low here. Flakked's got a flash, he could look for more. Mikyx as well, waddling away because he's crashed down with the Pheromance. He has to flash in trade, and all of the hard work at the level 1 invade just undone in a moment.
I mean, we said at the level 1, but level 2.
Yeah, Alistar gets that pulverized to go with the headbutt.
Stend has the engage ability, and Corki is a lane bully. The early damage that this champion has is why you can see it played in the mid lane along with being played in the bot side of the map too. Razork now sending his sights on the bot side of the map, but Sheo knows my bot lane has prio. I have the agency to move into your side of the jungle, and I can now get some revenge for those early camps that you stole.
Zyra notoriously fast-carrying, and Mikyx and Upset, they were the ones interrupting backs last time. This time, they actually still going to try and turn on to Stend, who's low and goes down! Oh, it was looking so good. The priority was there, Sheo was there, and it just doesn't matter. Welcome to the bounty castle, Stend. Enjoy your stay in the grave.
The idea was so good for Heretics. Interrupt the backs, threaten the dive, you have the level advantage, but they didn't have Flakked's damage there, and the shielding that Mikyx got from his W was enough to keep him alive long enough to allow for Fnatic to find a turnaround. They get themselves first blood for the second time in a row.
Let's have a look at that replay, because it was looking good, and Stend was posturing and regrets it.
Oh, so that he actually missed from Sheo. That was so crucial. The damage would have been enough. So a small execution error there. I also misspoke earlier. I thought they had a level advantage, but everyone was level 3 across the board. And ultimately, they make things work out. Fnatic kind of lucky that Sheo ended up missing that E. If he'd been able to connect it, this could have been a very different play.
Then the CC from the Rell doesn't come on through. Alistar gets to walk away, and it's just not the same play. But Fnatic get away with it despite that set of blown flashes just moments before. Team Heretics end up a little humbled there despite all of the good steps beforehand. Fnatic playing around this vision. Razork had snuck in. I think he was just about spotted. Kamiloo, level 6 just hit. Humanoid flashes just outside the Fate Sealed. Probably miles off 6 himself. Can look for maybe a turnaround with his own ultimate. Here we go. Mom is summoned on in, and Kamiloo needs the shield. Doesn't have a Q thing. I think it's just a kill. Flash away. Both mid laners playing with literal fire.
I mean, yeah, Kamiloo, he overstayed his welcome there. Really nice use of the early level 6 to get the flash out from Humanoid. But then he went for a little bit more, and that was the overstep that he shouldn't have taken. He ends up getting punished, loses his flash in exchange, but ultimately, a trade of flashes, not the end of the world for either mid laner.
Interrupt out of the Hex Flash. I think Mikyx should still be able to crash down over the walls. Doesn't change all that much. Problem is, did aggro the dragon and got knocked back, so how far does Stend want to chase this? He's going to get the Honey Fruit supportal combat. Round 1. Fight? No? Okay, well, FGC is not going to be postponed for today.
Dragon doing a lot of work there as well as Sheo finds an angle onto the grubs. Going to be uncontested.
Observers.
Carlsen has been doing a great job in the top lane matchup. He's had the ability to get that 1v1 that we were concerned he wouldn't get, but he's found a small advantage with the early armor.
Trying to bait out the crash down. I think that was expecting Mickey to keep going. He didn't, and Stend looks a bit silly there.
Bit of a misplay there from Stend. And Fnatic now find a nice opportunity in the bot side of the map. They could have set up a potential freeze. They've decided not to do that based on the damage that they've done. Kamiloo and Humanoid continue to trade, with Kamiloo sitting on a small level lead for now.
Pops back to his soul or body with the Unbound Soul. Sheo, though, looking for a wraparound. Reminder, Humanoid does not have flash. If that Q lands, doesn't. Flash for the Grasping Roots doesn't land, and now Razork's around. They can look to bait it. There's the twisted advance. Kamiloo forth back towards the plants. Is Humanoid, though, burning out. Sheo, that's a deadly garden. Nightshade to be found as now Razork in danger. Get hit by another Grasping Root. Kamiloo using the Raptors to try and escape is very, very low. 58 odd HP. Mickey won't find him, and now he's a bit deep. That's a level 6 Zyra still going to try and fight this Yone. What is going on, Mickey?
Yes, ignite. I think he's trying to ignite it.
Fight Seal comes on through, the shield comes in, and Team Heretics pick up 2 kills.
How do I break that down? I mean, Kamiloo, he just broke Fnatic's ankles there. Really nice moves on the Yone to navigate his way through what felt like a death sentence, but now Carlsen.
He's on a ward here as well. Oscarinin goes back down to he knows the Keyblade! Flash on in, gets the last breath, and Oscarinin, I think, just gets to back away. It looked fancy, but it won't lead to a kill.
Oh my goodness, the mechanics on these boys is shining right now. Kamiloo with the outplay in mid. Carlsen in a dangerous situation on the top lane is able to outplay his way out of that. We get to look at things from Camiloo's POV. He's stacking up that Q. He gets the third proc. He goes over the wall to create space, and then he waits for the Zyra to finish things off. The grasp, not got doing enough damage. He's so close to dying. And then the ignite coming through is the idea, but then the knock-up along with the ulti, and then he gets the W back. So it gives him the shielding to keep him alive. And Mickey with the misplay. So Heretics, for the first time in this series, leading kills.
I'm just saying, if Razork is going towards the Leandries on the Maokai there, that sapling would have killed him. You know, just saying. Shout out that one, Razork. I know the tank build's fun, but come on.
Wow, we find ourselves in a situation in the early game where Heretics have the early advantage. We were concerned about whether or not Heretics would be able to execute upon this composition, and right now they're just finding outplays against Fnatic. We saw that in the bot lane 2 versus 2. Stend and Flakked with the all-in to alleviate some of that pressure. We saw it again in the mid lane with the gank response from Fnatic turning awry. And Heretics continue to win out on the top lane matchup as well. I will admit, the CS being even, not the best position for the Yasuo, but you know that Yasuo's going to continue to scale.
Stranglethorns, I think Humanoid's in danger. The heal from Mom is not enough, and another kill comes over. This one to the Yone. Chains of Corruption land in the bot side, though. Stend not level 6 yet. Mikyx and Upset continue to trade on forward. The last order would do it. Flash for it secures, and Flakked has to Valkyrie away. A 21-gun salute to his fallen brother in the bot lane.
The level advantage working in favor of Fnatic. Stend not having that level 6 meant that there was an easy window for Fnatic to try and punish, knowing that Stend didn't have the flash available to him. At the very least, they find the 2 versus 2. Heretics getting that 3rd kill, though, will secure them that feat of strength as they find that kill in the mid lane as well. And now Kamiloo, like, you look at these Wind Brothers, the scariest thing about them is their ability to scale. In the straight up 5v5 team fight, I'm a little concerned because Heretics do have, well, very little front line. You look at the amount of crowd control on the side of Fnatic. They have the Rell, they have the Varus, they have Gnar ultimate, they have Maokai. Like, there's just so much CC available to Fnatic that will these brothers be able to create chaos, outplay in the team fight? I'm a little concerned. But in the side lanes, they should be uncontested, they should be absolute monsters, and there's going to be very little that Fnatic can do to stop them.
And obviously they've secured the first set of grubs. They desperately want to fight for this second, because 6 grubs on a Yasuo Yone. Yes, please, say Heretics. And they're going to start this one up. Razork's around. Has got his ultimate available, but Team Heretics have rotated everyone here to start them up.
The Leandrides on Sheo, I think, is too much of a deterrent. This Zyra is way too strong at this point in the game. Maokai is a full level behind that of Sheo right now, and securing those kills has just been instrumental for Heretics' early game advantage. They will get the 6 scrubs, they will concede the first dragon of the game, but I think Heretics is fine with that position considering they are 1 objective away from that second feat of strength.
And considering Sheo was invaded, lost the smite fight on the Raptors, he then burned all the flash spot lane, it was looking really dicey. Serious credit for Sheo for creative pathing, going on the invade, getting out with a load more camps, coming up right now with a significant amount more CS, early kills, early roams into the mid to get more value there. Has now looked top to force Oscarinin off this turret and give Carlsen an opportunity to pick up a few plates with those 6 grubs we were talking about. And this is a much better early game from Team Heretics, who are not just falling behind incrementally like they were in game 1.
I just love what we're seeing from Heretics. And I think this is why they've been able to build more of a fan base, why people have become keen to see what they bring to the table, because they realize in game 1 standard isn't going to cut it. We gotta go crazy. So let's go crazy. Let's have confidence in our players. Let's try something different. And so far, that difference is working. There's still a lot of the game left to be played. They only find themselves with about a 1k gold lead for now, but they're looking good here in this game too.
Well, it's better than the 3,000 or gold lead deficit, rather, they were in last game. So much better news there. Kamiloo unbinds his soul and heads toward the turret, and Yone can just do that. Shove a wave in, unbind your soul and walk at a turret with the grubs and just return to sender to keep yourself safe. Very difficult to punish. That Flakked now roam towards the mid lane. Becoming increasingly common that we see our bot laners head mid a little earlier than they did in the past. Nice Q3 onto Humanoid, throws down a Spirit Cleave, and the Smolder eats the combo. Not particularly pleased about that fact. Mikyx kind of around the back, but so is Sheo and Stend, who are looking to come towards this lane as well and start playing for these turrets.
Miller must be so close to play to the Ruin King now. Oh yeah, it's going to be such a valuable spike, even after the nerfs. I mean, Yone still just a very scary skirmisher due to his ability to just stick onto his target. Has the Q3 looking for a knock, but look at how effectively he just zones Humanoid away from the tower. And secures himself a play.
So that and the gold lead, still sticking around that 1,000 gold mark, not really extending right now. Fnatic doing an okay job at keeping things where they are for now.
Heretics just doing a good job of playing around their strong side of the map. They're leveraging Sheo and Kamiloo to keep pressure on this bot tower, with it really being the only objective that they can look to play for. They're zoning Humanoid away from the tower. In fact, he was even forced to go back to base. Upset is stuck in mid, catching the wave that Flakked is able to push very quickly, and now they're looking for another fight.
Razork goes back in, gets a double Bramble Smash. Mikyx tries to get the Magstorm, gets it onto both of the jungle and AD carries. Flakked gets out, but Sheo, the man with the gold lead, goes down. Stend gets a double knockup, but they've lost 3. Kamiloo's trying to trade out, but there's just too many Fnatic members. And Fnatic swiftly punish Heretics overstep in the bot lane.
They certainly do. Heretics 1 step too far. Knockup comes through from Carlsen.
As breath comes on through, but Oscarinin still has the hop, so it's just damage. It's not a full all-in.
Wow. Such a promising start for Heretics, but then they overplay their hand. the response from Fnatic was crucial. And again, notice the patience here from Fnatic. Razork, he's getting engaged on. He's telling his team, I'm fine, I have to re-engage with the W, but Upset joins. And this is crucial because then you see the engage come through from Mikyx, the ultimate follow-up from Upset, and immediately Heretics is forced to divide. We talked about how in the team fights, in these big 4v4s, 5v5s, this comp is squishy, and a nice flash there from Razork to interrupt the ulti, but it's just you see how squishy this composition is, how susceptible they are to that chain CC, and Fnatic demonstrating our comp wants to fight you, so if you're going to give us the fight, we'll take
the
it.
fight, yeah. And look, Heretics, you drafted a comp with finesse required. You started some good plays, but you have to do that a little bit more cleanly. And Fnatic, something we were talking about in the green room was the patience that we saw from that. Something we heard from the desk as well. Team Heretics, though, going to finally secure this turret. This time Fnatic won't punish them for it, but the gold lead still in Fnatic's favor. Feed of Strength is secured by Team Heretics because they got that first turret, and that's great news, but Fnatic are ahead in gold now. That gold lead swings back towards them, and they are the team that scales into the objective portion of the game, where you start playing around those dragons and stuff a little later on. A bit easier. Kamiloo being jumped on. Humanoid sneezes at him, but Kamiloo will dodge that one.
Now Kamiloo is the one that's under pressure. Razork going to be sitting on a ward. Sheo is here to cover.
Trying to defend this turret as Fnatic have come around in force to try and trade those structures back. At least it'll only be a trade on the turret HP bar, not too much more. 30 seconds until Dragon, though. Fnatic with pressure in bot lane, likely going to want to try and hold on to command of this river. Stend goes forward, but there's the ult from the Maokai. Turnaround, though, into the Fate Sealed. Immediately removes Razork. Mikyx going to have to flash on out, stays alive, but burns very low with the Liandry's tick.
So now it's Fnatic who overstay their welcome. I'm surprised both sides committing very heavily on the bot side of the map. Don't want to contest over the Rift Herald for the time being. But in this situation, notice the difference, no Upset. A crucial damage dealer this early on into the game, going for the lethality build. His priority and his value is how much damage he can contribute in the early game, especially against these squishy targets. If you don't have him, then your ability to trade back is going to be difficult. And Stend is someone that still has that ultimate available, a strong front line. Oscar going to secure that top tower, and it's going to disengage from the skirmish. Heretics at the very least getting something back. Turning into an interesting game. After game one, I was expecting Fnatic to just come out of the gate swinging, a 2-0 dominant performance. But Heretics definitely showcasing they've got more in the tank.
And game one was the expectation, right? This is what we wanted to see from Fnatic, for the Fnatic fans. This is what's supposed to be the best team in the league. And this game, Heretics have drafted a comp that is about verve, about style, about confidence, and they are playing with it. It's not always been clean. They've overplayed it a couple times. We saw actually both times in that blue side jungle, but they have at least come in with that confidence to make plays, and it is an even game at this stage, which is certainly not what it was this time last game.
Exactly the case. Herald now alive, and it is Fnatic with greater position on it. The top wave being pushed in their favor. Carlsen made his way towards bot, has the TP available. Blade of the Ruin King completed for both Carlsen and Kamiloo, already working on that second item.
Now I just got to see whether Team Heretics want to look and contest. They don't want to. They were looking to try and get a shove mid. Again, with the 6 scrubs, you can do quite a lot of damage to a turret if you're given half a wave to work with. And Flakked gets an auto too. Upset, though, has to change the corruption. Flakked ready for it. Valkyrie's away. And now there's a bit of a bait being set up by Heretics. Stend and Carlsen combine. And Mikyx is off his high horse.
A very nice pick onto Mikyx. He didn't respect the fact that that side of the map did not belong to Fnatic. Utilizing the fog of war, they were able to attack from over the wall. They catch him out. Fans trying to keep his morale high, but it will open up this mid-tier 1. And Heretics will take the lead in turrets.
And look, Team Heretics, many people weren't expecting to make playoffs in the first place. There are 3 rookies, Stend and Kamiloo and Carlsen. Sheo, not exactly a veteran player at this point. He's got a couple years to him, but he's not got the lineage and veterancy of nearly the entirety of Fnatic's roster. Upset, Humanoid, Mikyx, Razork at this point as well, have been playing for many, many years at an extremely high level, and then to come in, having lost a game in such a decisive fashion in game 1, to come out with a draft like this, to come into a mid-game and be confident enough to make plays like that, look for fun vision plays like that, is exactly the kind of style that should make you excited for Heretics. Oscarinin about to turn mini here. Sheo's got a nice wraparound. There's a Hex Flash over from Stend, who forced the flash out of Oscarinin. Razork gonna look to ult himself and try and punish this overplay. Sheo and Team Heretics will back away, happy enough having earned an ult and a flash.
I'm a little surprised that Razork committed the ultimate in that play. It felt like that Oscar was already out of the dangerous situation, and he didn't really need to force that. Either way, did cost Oscar his flash, so the potential flash Gnar play in later team fights is something that Heretics don't have to be afraid of. Oh, hang on a minute.
Nice last breath combo, gets a huge shot, got a Humanoid, but flashes over the wall. Now Stend, at least with the ultimate running, is relatively tanky. Carlsen, though, certainly is not. And Fnatic punished that attempted pick. Carlsen running away as Oscarinin nearly a mega. Runs down the Yassuo, flash over the wall from Flakked. Oscarinin got a blast cone. Doesn't have the flash, but a flash and Sheo to get away from Mikyx is not enough. Shattering Strike, Magnet Storm, the hail of arrows, and the plant is swiftly snipped. There will be no smite. There's nothing really to claim aside from Atakan, though. Are Fnatic feeling confident enough with the members dead to think about it? Looks like they are.
Definitely should. Heretics just with another crucial blunder. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse as, the top lane.
Kamiloo claims the tier 2. All the while, though, Fnatic have sent 2 members to try and punish. The Fate Seal went wide, though. So Upset goes on a rampage.
He's got a face check into Flakked.
Oh, Flakked punishes just so well. There's a barrier, there's a flash that is not going to be burned. And Flakked picks up 1 at least. Stend now over here. And Fnatic have been pretty slow to take this. Carlsen's around. They can't finish Atakan. Razork at 20% HP has to be wary. Carlsen, last breath into the backline. Onto Humanoid of all people. Twisted advance. And then a wind wall. Sorry, a tornado to claim the kill. They'll keep on playing that. Atakan! Taken by Razork! Even though, say, the Heretics are winning the fight, they don't finish the objective. They don't have the smite. Mikyx looking to reset. Going to try and recall, will likely lose his withdrawal. Carlsen picks up the 200 gold.
I mean, Carlsen is pretty clean with the Yassuo. I will say this game has devolved into anarchy across the board because while it was a lost fight for Heretics, I thought it was going to be a free Atakan, but 2 of the damage dealers went top, both Upset and Oscar, to deal with Kamiloo, who got a tower for himself. After securing that tower, while he did die, because the Atakan took so long to kill, that meant the rest of Heretics could go for another play, which means that even though they don't secure the objective, Fnatic end up securing that one. We now return out onto the map. The Dragon is now spawned. 3 out of the 5 members of Fnatic have the false life buff. And I'm expecting another fight.
Surely would be. It would be second Dragon for either team, and Fnatic have got the additional lives to play with, so it feels like now is the time, if any, to make it work. They've got the easier team fight comp. Herald dropped in the gap there towards the river. Fnatic had that one timing out. Dragon started by Fnatic, and Team Heretics say, look, we just don't want this fight. Herald's coming. We're backing away from this. There's Mikyx driving away. Okay, Herald was used and just goes into a wall.
I definitely think that we've seen greater value Heralds before.
Maybe 1 or 2.
But that's okay. These things happen. You'll notice the poke that comes through from Fnatic can be quite difficult to deal with. I would argue that walking into Zyra is always a challenging thing to deal with. However, because you have Upset on the Varus with going for the lethality build, against these squishy targets, that poke is going to stick. And when you pair that up with the Smolder as well, who's going to chip away at you every time he gets just within range to either sneeze on you or hit you with his Q. Now Razork's ultimate comes down to zone them away from the tower.
Nature's Grasp comes down, Stend will press ult though, and then go onto Oscarinin. The knockup will come on through from the Strangle Thorns, and they'll just get that withdrawal and hold the turret.
I will say a bit of poor coordination there. Upset's ultimate came out a little bit late. It looked like he didn't want to commit it onto Stend because he knew that he still had the ultimate. But then once Stend committed the ultimate then went wide from Upset. So the chain CC didn't quite land. Carlsen now overextended.
Humanoid's coming on down, Razork's there as well. Sneeze comes on through, that'll pop the passive on the Yasuo, who will begin to sweeping blade his way through the wave. Windwall comes on down, making Humanoid's life a little trickier, but the executes now come on through because the stacks are in. Nice knock-up, we'll get another passive, but I don't think even that amount of flow will keep Humanoid from getting the kill.
I was ready for Carlsen to get the outplay there. Very close to getting that trade back kill onto Humanoid. Unfortunately, it wasn't quite enough damage. 3-3-3 now the scoreline for Humanoid. He got put behind quite heavily in the early game, but he's managed to bounce back quite effectively. And now while the gold is even, it's important when you look at the bottom of your screen where a lot of that gold is sitting on, and it's Sheo with a 2k gold lead over the Maokai. And while that is valuable, this Zyra can be instrumental in turning around the team fights. A lot of pressure is going to fall on his shoulders because the carries across the board are pretty even, if not ahead, as you see Oscar now with a 2k gold lead over the top lane.
And the ult coming as well. Kamiloo will ult. Is still going to get caught out just by the ultimate. And now with 3 members down here, I don't think Kamiloo's got anything to do. He doesn't have the ult to try and outplay in the fight. Will likely just fall. 20 seconds until Baron as well. They want to make sure he's off the board for as long as they can. What do Fnatic get off of this? No Dragon, as we've seen that fight recently enough to know otherwise.
They're just moving to the enemy jungle, going to try and deny a little bit more vision, help push out these waves. They will concede control over mid, but when trying to set up for a play onto that mid tower, you have to have control over one side of the map to threaten any potential fight. Because with the Corki here, the amount of wave clear that Heretics has to hold on to that tower is a little too much for Fnatic to kind of force their way through.
Give a shout out to Oscarinin as well. It's been, I'll call it quieter. He's had a 3-0-2 game. It's not that quiet, but we've been talking about other members on the map a little more regularly. But second game in a row, he is having a very good game. He's up 2,000 gold in what should have been a counter matchup. Yes, there's been a little bit of attention in recent moments against the Yassuo, but this is great news for Fnatic, who now have a very strong Gnar to work with. And still just fine in this game, even if Heretics have been throwing a few more punches of their own this time.
Yeah, I definitely feel like Fnatic is in full control right now. One of those things, you know, boots are really important, right?
Yes.
And the problem with the Win Brothers is they're forced into a very specific boot.
The ones that give you the attack speedy thing.
Which means that this crowd control has a lot more value. And you can see only Stend sitting on the Merc treads, which means that when the CC lands...
Oh boy, and he's nearly at the execute threshold, about to get hit by another one of those spooky cat things that this version of Maokai throws out. Stend just about alive, but that will mean this tier 2 falls. Razork, sorry, not Razork, Humanoid calls Mum.
You see what I mean by the poke, right?
It
really does, it sticks on the side of Heretics because they don't quite have those tanks that have that inbuilt regeneration, those resistances, the ability to soak up some of that long-range damage. Instead, they've got a very squishy front line. This lethality Varus gains a lot of value. The poke that comes through from the Smolder, the fact that Gnar and Maokai can always threaten with the crowd control. Great use of those combinations and tools to force down this objective.
We've got ourselves 45 seconds until what will be sole point for Fnatic if they want to play for it. Baron's also up and available, and you feel
not
like...
quite. You got baited by the other card.
Oh, yeah, I did.
The feedback has been noted. Now, Sheo, he could be in some danger here.
Oh boy, yes he could be. Sheo flashes away. Chains of Corruption just wide as well. We're looking for the invade, and that was a little too far.
Was fishing for something, ends up biting the wrong hook there, loses his summoner spell as a result. As you rightly said, Dragon will be the third one of the game for Fnatic, but definitely something that they would love to get for themselves. They've been able to push out that bot wave. They're grouping in mid to be able to get that prio. They've largely just abandoned top, knowing that Heretics would have to play incredibly deep to really threaten that tier 3 tower. I'm a little surprised to see them pathing towards the top side of the map. I would have expected them to start shifting their control more into the bot side jungle to kind of scare Carlsen off the wave. You can already see he's pretty hesitant to approach.
Just soloing it.
Oh,
that's
he is, yeah.
So that's the plan. He's saying, look, we'll have the rest of our members go there. We've got enough control that our mid laner can just auto-attack, Dragon down. That gets them to soul point. And attack speed and ability haste when you're looking at a poke comp, when you're looking at Smolder and Varus who love to cast more abilities, feels pretty good this game. Sheo lands the grasping roots, but doesn't really lead to all that much. The problem now is, of course, Stend can look for an angle. In goes Razork. There's the Stranglethorn to try and buy a bit of space, but Razork flashes away. Magnustorm back on in onto Stend and Sheo, and that likely means the Zyra is going to be put down to sides, but Razork also in danger. Sap magic healing is ridiculous. Oscarinin flashing away as Flakked tries to trade onto him. Carlsen flashed on, trying to be kept alive. Flashes forward onto Humanoid! And Humanoid gets the kill.
A scattered fight across the board where Heretics had the opportunity to find a number of skirmishes where they were very close to being able to find those picks, but they just couldn't quite secure any of them. Upset now sets his sights onto Flakked.
Wants this kill, gets the Q just short though, and Flakked, I think,
he's chasing for this.
He really wants it, even with the Hail of Varus. He's got enough a slow Q. Go on. One arrow, one kill!
And that's a shutdown. Upset makes his scoreline 8-1-5. 13 of the team's 15 kills. We look back at the fight and it stops on the top side as Razork looks for an engage onto Sheo. the follow-through doesn't quite pan out the way that Fnatic want, as Razork will be forced to flash away very quickly. The Zyra ultimate kind of separating as Mikyx then tries to look to play with his team, but then Oscar and Humanoid turn their attention onto Kamiloo, and you can see how the fight is on two fronts, but Upset feels very safe behind that wall of a front line. He gets 2 kills for himself, and then the skirmish that's happening in the middle river, Kamiloo doesn't have any resources left. Flakked's forced to disengage, and a nice flash from Humanoid separates himself to get that kill onto Carlsen.
And look, that's a fractured fight. Surely you'd think that would be better for a Yassuo and a Yone who thrive in those kind of messier scenarios where they can dash around a bit more freely, but Fnatic get away without losing a kill, get the Baron. Got Soul Point now as well as a result of getting that Dragon just beforehand. They are back in firm command. It wasn't as clean as last game, don't get me wrong. But it feels like this game is still very much in their favor and Heretics struggling to stabilize.
Yeah, I think that there were some crucial early game mistakes from Fnatic that Heretics found through great individual outplay, but then they've overstepped. We saw it in the bot lane, we saw it in the mid lane. We just saw a couple times where Heretics went into fights that they just shouldn't have been trying to force, and Fnatic, with that stronger team fight composition, have been able to punish time and time again, and now they find themselves in this position. Oscar about to tick over to level 18, Humanoid in a similar position,
ahead.
and the poke that's coming through, Heretics have to be decisive in how they execute, as the damage is just continuing to stick from Fnatic.
I winced a little bit at that level discrepancy there, the counter match of Carlsen. There's been some flashy plays from the Yassuo, but it's not led to a lead. 3 levels, well, now 2, because of course Oscarinin can no longer level up anymore. This isn't Earth. But it's still a serious, serious discrepancy, and the vision control that they fought so hard of early on in the game is now completely gone. Their map is very, very dark right now. Resets begin to come on through for Fnatic. They've claimed all the outer turrets except for that one lone remaining tier 2 in top lane, but they'll reset by a load more items. Humanoid finishing off the Bloodthirster. 3.5 items now on Upset. 3.5, 4 items even for Oscarinin. Flipping heck, that Gnar is strong, and you can look to do it all over again. And with the Hex Gates, Razork's like, hello! And the rest of Fnatic as well, they're just coming straight on in. They want a brawl. Carlsen caught out, crashed down on with the Ferromancy. He's got a shield that means absolutely nothing, and Upset goes unstoppable.
Easy pick for Fnatic. They turn their attention onto the tower that you just a few moments ago highlighted was the sole survivor of tier 2 towers. They don't care about the mid wave for now. Instead, knowing that they have the numbers advantage, have set their sights on the base of Heretics.
Those numbers look nice for Sheo, and they were for a period of the game. Don't look so nice when you look at mid and bot though. The poke has definitely been landing, and the base now broken into. Team Heretics, what on earth do you do to stall this Fnatic juggernaut at this point? Oscarinin times his escape through the Hex Gates perfectly, and a synchronized recall as well. 44 seconds.
44 seconds until the Dragon Soul. Just easy setup for Fnatic. Patient play once again. And as you rightly said, we saw some mistakes from them in the early game. Heretics had an opportunity, I think, to take control of this game. Unfortunately, a few misexecutions. Oh, Fnatic once again.
They've gone through the Hex Gates. They're going to try and jump on Oscarinin, who did get knocked up, but they didn't really follow it up with too much. Another decent knock-up. Oscarinin low. Stend going to be chunked. Will try and go into the backline. Again, no follow-up. Mom comes flying across the red buff pit, and they lose the Alistar, who is turned into a medium rare state, courtesy of the rest of Fnatic. Razork looking to get on forward. Kamiloo gets over the wall, but that means there is surely no way that Team Heretics can contest the Hex Soul coming up.
HP bars are a little low on the side of Fnatic. Oscarinin likely going to go back to base and then has the TP to rejoin the group. As you rightly said, the Soul going to be secured by Humanoid. They know they have the numbers advantage, but I don't think they have much of a wave to play through on bot. So instead, they're going to move back into Heretics jungle, steal away what they can, pick up what gold they can to try and finish things off, and maybe they'll wait for the Baron spawning in about 2 minutes time. But this definitely feels like it's Fnatic's game to lose.
Baron itself would respawn in a couple minutes. Fnatic might want to wait on that one, but hey, at this point with the Hexo, with how far ahead, they might just say, we don't want to play patient, we want to keep shoving and end this game in short order. It has been a closer game than the last one. It has not been as clean. I think Fnatic will be wanting to review some moments in this game where they gave up more than they should have. But on the other side, for Team Heretics, keep your head somewhat high about this one. It's not been perfect, it's been scrappy. There's going to be some moments you're frustrated you didn't capitalize on as well as you should have. I think about that Atacam fight that could have been Atacam for you as well, and some of those overreaches into the blue side jungle. But even if they lose this series, they're not done with playoffs, they still have another shot at it.
Exactly, double elimination.
Yeah, they can still be threatening that.
Certainly can be. They are approaching this mid lane tower. Oh, Root comes through onto Mikyx.
good chunk. Again, you've still got 3 items on a Yone, 3 items on a Yassuo. You've got some damage there. The problem is, Fnatic have got some too, and it's just easier to get onto key members with the range. They turn around, Stend goes on, but it's not onto target they want to ult with the last breath, and Stend has to back away. Gonna get executed. Humanoid and the Upset bring down the house. Kamiloo and Flakked desperately running away. A cleanse will not save you. Little Corki, a triple to Upset. A flash for Mikyx, who does die to the tower, but that is surely the end of this game. Fnatic will make it 2-0. They will be moving on in the playoffs. A win to their name.
An absolutely ruthless Varus ultimate from Upset sends an arrow straight into the heart of Heretics and will send them to the lower brackets.
Game 1 was clean. Game 2, Fnatic had to fight back a little more, and they did so. This is the heirs apparent on your screen right now. They are supposed to be the team that wins the LEC on paper, and right now, they had to do business. They did it. Heretics 2-0'd, and you can now vote for your key player of the game. Could be Oscarinin, could be Razork, could be Upset as your option so far, and I think all 3 solid after their showing in those 2 games.
Certainly the case. I think a lot of people are going to look at Upset's scoreline, and don't get me wrong, that man he's having one of the best splits of his career. Right now, he feels fully enabled, but the supporting staff, that jungle top lane duo was monstrous in today's series.
It really, really was. Well, Mikyx and Upset will be on the Analyst desk after the break. Stay tuned for some expert analysis on the G2 versus GX series after as well, so do stick around. Zyra still going to try and fight this Yone. What is going on, Mikyx?
He has Ignite. I think he's trying to ignite it.
His fight seal comes on through, the shield comes in, and Team Heretics.
How do I break that down? I mean, Kamiloo.
Alistar here. Look, they're gonna get looted by Mikyx. All of them. Yeah. Look at the Corki. Corki or Yone, Marek? Yone.
Yeah, I go. I flip.
Has ulti, okay?
Nice. Oh, they hit the Razork again.
Holy bro, but I'm just everywhere, man.
I'm not Maokai.
I'm flashing away. She's cooked now. She's cooked. Can you DP me? She's
Yone, gonna rush. Go Yone. I'm going on Alistar.
Yeah, Alistar's there.
Coming to help Smolder. I'm fine, I think.
Welcome back to the LEC after a pretty confident 2-0 victory from Fnatic. We are now joined by Mikyx. Mikyx, welcome.
Thank you for having
Another day at the job, eh?
Yeah, that was, I mean, the second game was a bit stressful, I guess. There was a lot of comms that were just going left and right, and everyone was talking their own thing. Like in draft as well, it was like so weird, but everyone was like talking over each other, because like, I guess in Fearless, there's a lot of different scenarios that are happening. So yeah, it was chaotic, I guess.
Everyone on your team tweeted like, oh, we can't wait for Fearless. But then like, you guys played, your comp was kind of boring, man. I don't know what to, like, you played against the Wind Bros. Yeah, game 1 you played Elise.
Yeah, but then Rell was open game 2, so I have no choice.
I mean, actually, he got stuck into it, because I was expecting the Dynamite Brothers to come from you guys, not from Team Heretics, but then you were just stuck on, I mean, if Rell and Maokai is open, you guys kind of have to take the bullet, you know, and just play boring champion.
I don't have a choice, I'm saying.
Oh my god.
Bullied into it by your coach. I think one thing that stood out a lot, though, is that, I mean, despite like some of the you know, messy moments in that game, maybe around mid lane, we cut the replay, or we could just show it to flame you when you try really hard to solo kill the Yone. But people got to see it just moments before we joined.
Actually, I could have, if I was like a bit better at the game.
You've got time. You've got time to improve, brother. Don't worry about it. Sure. But what was it that stood out the most to you, Odo?
For me, what stood out the most was, if we can bring up the replay as well, is because you say that the comms were a little bit, you know, hectic, but judging from gameplay perspective, it really didn't seem like it, because it seemed like you guys were just all in control every single time, and there's a bot lane fight that is happening where you guys are just buying time so well for each other right now. And even if you can pause the clip right now, is Smolder is quite far away and Varus is also quite far away right now, but this is the sort of Fnatic that before we wouldn't really see this much resilience from you. And how are the comms here in this situation, given that you're saying that they were hectic? It seemed like everything was clear.
No, yeah, I mean, it really was not clear in the comments. Because from what I remember, at least, it was like, go, 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 we need to go on this guy. And I would look at the minimap, I was like, wait, Smolder is like nowhere near. Like, I think someone was telling me to like flash on the Zyra. I was like, Zyra is so insane. I was like,
okay, Arthur, we can play the clip now.
Wait a bit. So I'm just like running around, waiting for the boys to show up.
Because
like,
you're playing really good
Maokai's
here.
going in, I'm just like waiting because I can't do anything. But here, I guess Zyra walks melee range of me. I think, honestly, it's mostly on them for going with the Maokai. I think if Alistar just combos me and Zyra combos me, I think we have to just back off. I was on a very nice flash by the Maokai.
Yeah. Okay, okay, you need to throw him under the bus. Who was the guy who was telling you to just go, go, go?
I don't know, but looks like from the clip that Razork maybe really wanted to go because he just doubled it in there. No one was near it. Yeah, good luck. I mean, his champ is that OP so he can survive it, so it's fair enough.
I mean, Maokai was like 3k gold behind, but he was still super OP. But regardless, this was for me just highlight of pretty much every single Fnatic play from this series overall, where there's just so much restraint and so much patience to find the perfect opportunity to pull the trigger.
Do you feel restrained? It looks restrained to us compared to last year, Fnatic. Does it feel like you guys have the discipline to back off?
I guess, yeah. I mean, I think sometimes, I mean, definitely not in the comms, but like, at least for myself, usually I try to look more around to where people are on the map before I do something, which is maybe something I don't do always. But I feel like I've kind of started doing that more recently.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I kind of have to, otherwise,
otherwise no one will.
Like run it down, no, very hard. Look, so I need to like stop myself. But yeah.
Fair. I like that character development. It's cool. While you were exciting, our key player of the game was Oscarinin, and shout out to Oscar, even into the Yassuo counter pick, was still able to have so much impact in that series.
I was surprised that the first tower went down for the Yassuo, not for the Gnar.
Yeah, that was, Oscar was an absolute monster. We are going to head to a quick break. When we get back, we'll be getting ready for the series GX versus G2, and we'll also be joined for the draft by Mikyx and Upset. So stick around. We'll be right back.
Hey Drakos, you ready for the... Oh, that doesn't look good. Wait, I have a solution, but you have a break. I will be right back. Just wait.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
See? I told you we'd figure it out.
I don't think this counts.
Come on, let's go.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Wait, is he switching lanes?